My name is Armin. I'm 31 years old, and 3 days ago, my boss made me apologize for something I didn't do in front of everyone. I remember standing there, hands shaking, trying to explain, but the words wouldn't come out right because somehow everyone already believed I was guilty. Even I started doubting myself. And that's when I realized something was very, very wrong. Because the truth is, I hadn't made that mistake, but someone had made sure it looked like I did. And the worst part, I didn't even notice it happening until it was too late. Before I tell you what really happened, like and subscribe, but only if you've ever felt like people turned against you for no reason. And if you've ever questioned your own memory, comment "I've been there," because what I'm about to tell you might already be happening to you. Let me take you back to where this actually started, because it didn't begin in that meeting room. It started 6 months earlier, on a normal Monday morning. Everything looked perfect. I had a stable job, a clean office, same desk, same routine, coffee at 9:05, emails by 9:15, team meeting at 10. My manager, Samir, he was calm, professional, respected. Everyone liked him, including me. He used to say things like, "Armin, you're one of the most reliable people here." And I believed him. That was my first mistake, because I didn't know something small, something almost invisible had already started. At first, it didn't feel like anything. Tiny comments, little corrections. "Hey Armin, you forgot to attach the file." I'd check, the file was there, but I'd think, maybe I missed something. Maybe it didn't send. Then it happened again. "Armin, this isn't what we discussed." But it was. I was sure it was. Still, I stayed quiet, because what if I was wrong? That's how it begins. Not with a big lie, but with small doubts, dripping slowly, week after week. Same pattern, same feeling. Confused, uncertain, quiet. And everyone else? They didn't notice anything strange, because to them, Samir sounded reasonable, calm, confident, certain, and I didn't. That's when the tension started building. I began double-checking everything, saving screenshots, rereading messages, but somehow, something always felt off, like I was one step behind reality, like the ground under me wasn't stable anymore. Then came the day everything changed. The meeting. 14 people in the room. Project review, big client, big stakes. Samir stood up, looked at the screen, and said something that made my heart stop. This delay happened because Armin didn't follow instructions. Silence. All eyes on me. My chest tightened. "That's not true," I said, but my voice, it didn't sound strong. It sounded unsure. Samir didn't argue, he just tilted his head slightly, calm, almost sympathetic. "Armin, we discussed this last Thursday." No, we didn't. I was sure we didn't. But suddenly I wasn't, because the way he said it, it sounded real. That's when people started nodding, small nods, quiet agreement, and something inside me broke, because I realized they believed him, not me. What happened next shocked everyone. Samir opened his laptop, pulled up a message, a screenshot, a conversation, my name on it, my words, agreeing to something I never agreed to. My hands went cold. "That's not what I said," I whispered. Samir didn't react. He just said softly, "Armin, maybe you forgot." And that sentence destroyed me, because suddenly it wasn't about truth anymore. It was about memory, and mine didn't feel reliable. That's how they isolate you, not by attacking you, but by making you question yourself. After that meeting, everything changed. People stopped asking me for input, stopped including me, stopped trusting me. I could feel it, the distance, the quiet judgment. Even my closest coworker, Hamza, he pulled back. "I don't know what's going on with you," he said one day. That hurt more than anything, because I didn't know either, but I knew something wasn't right. And that's when someone unexpected stepped in. Aisha. She worked in a different department. We barely talked before, but that day she came to my desk. "You're not crazy," she said quietly. I looked at her. What? She said, I've seen this before, and my heart started beating faster because for the first time, someone believed me. But I didn't know something. Aisha wasn't just helping me. She was about to show me something that would change everything. Aisha leaned closer. Her voice dropped. I've seen this before, she repeated, and something about the way she said it made my stomach tighten. What scene? I asked. She looked around first, like she didn't want anyone else to hear. Then she said it. Someone slowly controlling how others see you without you realizing it. I froze, because that's exactly what it felt like. But how? I asked. That's the scary part, she said. It's so subtle you don't notice it happening. That's when everything started to shift, not outside, inside me, because for the first time, I stopped asking what's wrong with me and started asking what if this is being done to me. That one question changed everything. Aisha sat down next to me. She said, tell me everything. So I did. Every comment, every correction, every moment I felt confused. She didn't interrupt, didn't react, just listened. And when I finished, she nodded slowly. He's doing it step by step, she said. Doing what? She looked me straight in the eyes. He's controlling the narrative. I didn't understand, not yet, but I was about to, because what she explained next made my entire world feel fake. He's using a psychological trick, she said, one that works because people trust confidence more than truth.
I felt a chill run down my spine. Think about it, she continued. Every time he corrects you, how does he sound? Calm, I said. Certain? Yes. And you? I swallowed. Confused. Exactly, she said. And people don't follow confused. They follow certainty. That hit hard, because it was true. Every time I tried to defend myself, I sounded unsure. And every time Samir spoke, he sounded like he knew exactly what he was saying, even when he didn't. But I didn't know something. That wasn't even the real trick. That was just the surface. The real manipulation, Aisha said, is something called framing. I blinked. Framing? She nodded. He presents information in a way that shapes how people interpret it before they even think. I felt my chest tighten. Like the meeting? Yes, she said instantly. He didn't say you made a mistake. I frowned. He literally did. No, she said calmly. He said the delay happened because you didn't follow instructions. I paused. Because that was true. That's what he said. It sounds like a fact, she continued, but it's actually a frame. My mind started racing. Once people accept that frame, everything you say after that sounds like an excuse. And suddenly, it all made sense. That's why no one listened to me, not because I was wrong, but because the story was already decided before I even spoke. My hands started shaking again, but this time, not from confusion, from realization. Because if that was true, then everything over the past 6 months wasn't random. It was planned. That's when everything changed, Aisha said quietly. What do you mean? He's not just correcting you, she said. He's positioning you. For what? She hesitated, then said it. To replace you. Silence. Heavy. Cold. Because suddenly, every moment, every comment, every doubt had a purpose, and I didn't even see it. That's when I had to make a decision. Stay quiet or fight back. But here's the problem. How do you fight something that people can't even see? That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything in my head, looking for proof, looking for something real, because feelings weren't enough. I needed evidence, something undeniable. That's when I remembered something small, something I almost ignored. A message from 3 weeks ago. Samir had corrected me in a meeting, saying I missed a deadline, but I had a feeling back then something wasn't right. So I checked. I opened my email, scrolled back, and there it was. The timestamp, the file, everything. I hadn't missed the deadline. I had sent it early. My heart started pounding because for the first time, I had proof. But I didn't know something. This was just the beginning, because what I was about to uncover next was way bigger than one mistake. The next morning, I went to Aisha. "I found something," I said. She looked at me carefully. "Good," she replied, "but we need more." "More?" She nodded. "If you want to break the illusion, you have to expose the pattern." Pattern. That word echoed in my head, because that's exactly what this was, a pattern hidden in plain sight. So we started digging. Emails, messages, meeting notes, and slowly, piece by piece, the truth started coming out. Multiple mistakes that weren't mistakes, instructions that were never given, decisions that were twisted. And then we found it, the thing that changed everything. A private message between Samir and upper management. My name in it. My future in it. "Armand has been underperforming lately." I felt sick because now I understood. This wasn't just manipulation. This was preparation. He wasn't just controlling how people saw me. He was building a case, quietly, carefully, step by step. And I had been helping him by doubting myself. That's the real trick. Not just changing what others believe about you, but changing what you believe about yourself. That's when we made a plan. We wouldn't confront him privately. No, that wouldn't work. Because in private, he controls the frame. We needed something else, something public, something undeniable, a moment where he couldn't twist the story. And that moment came 3 days later. Another meeting, same room, same people. But this time, I was ready. My heart was racing, my hands were cold, but my mind was clear. Samir started speaking. Same calm voice, same confidence, same control. "This report has inconsistencies," he said. And then he looked at me. "Armand, can you explain?" There it was, the setup, the frame, the trap. But this time, I didn't fall into it, because what happened next shocked everyone. I took a slow breath, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel confused. I felt calm, because now I understood the game. Samir was watching me, waiting for me to panic, to stumble, to sound unsure again. But I didn't.
Instead, I did something no one expected. I smiled, just slightly, and that alone changed the energy in the room. Samir paused, just for a second, barely noticeable, but I saw it. Then I spoke. "Before I explain," I said calmly, "can we look at the full timeline?" Silence. People glanced at each other. Samir leaned back slightly, still confident. "Of course," he said, but his tone, it wasn't as solid as before. That's when everything changed. I connected my laptop to the screen, opened the file. Emails, timestamps, clear, simple, undeniable. "This is the original deadline," I said, and this is when I submitted the work. I didn't rush, didn't defend, just showed. Calm, steady, certain, the same way he always did. People leaned forward. You could feel it, the shift, because now I controlled the frame. Samir spoke quickly. "That's not the version we discussed," but I didn't stop. I didn't react. I just clicked the next file. Another message, another correction, another mistake that wasn't real. One by one, I laid them out. No emotion, no anger, just facts. and something strange started happening. The same people who used to nod at him started looking at him differently, confused, uncertain, because now he sounded like I used to, and I sounded like him. That's when the room went completely silent, because I showed the final piece, the message, the one he never thought I'd see. I didn't say anything at first, I just let them read it, line by line, slowly, carefully. Armin has been underperforming lately. I watched their faces change, one by one, and then I said it, quietly. If I've been underperforming, I paused, let it sit, then why is every delay based on information that was changed after I sent it? Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Real. Samir opened his mouth, but no words came out, because for the first time, he didn't control the story. That's the thing about manipulation. It only works as long as no one sees it clearly. But once the pattern is exposed, it collapses. Fast. What's going on here? Someone finally asked. Not to me, to him. And that moment, that shift, that's all it takes. Samir tried to recover, tried to explain, but now he sounded defensive, uncertain, exactly how I used to sound. And people noticed. That's when I said the one thing that ended everything. This isn't about one mistake, I said calmly. It's about how the story was told. I looked around the room, made eye contact with everyone, slowly, one sentence at a time. No one spoke, because they understood, maybe not fully, but enough. That's when my manager's manager stood up. We'll review this, he said. Short, cold, controlled. Meeting over, just like that. No shouting, no drama, just silence. But that silence said everything. Over the next few days, things changed. Fast. Samir stopped leading meetings, then he disappeared completely. No announcement, no explanation, just gone. People started talking, quietly, carefully, because now they were questioning everything. Not just him, but themselves. How did we not see it? That question, it stays with people for a long time. A week later, Hamza came to my desk. He looked uncomfortable. I'm sorry, he said. Simple, honest. I should have listened. I nodded, because I understood. That's how this trick works. It doesn't just fool one person. It reshapes how everyone sees reality, slowly, quietly, until the lie feels normal and the truth feels wrong. Aisha was right. It wasn't about proving I was right, it was about exposing the pattern, because once people see the pattern, they can't unsee it. And here's the truth, the real twist. The psychological trick, it's called framing combined with confidence bias, but that's not the scary part. The scary part is this. It works best on smart people, careful people, people who question themselves, because manipulators don't need to overpower you. They just need to guide your doubt. And once you start doubting yourself, they control everything. Your voice, your memory, your reality. Looking back now, the signs were always there. Small, subtle, easy to ignore. But together, they built a story, a false one, and I almost believed it. That's what scares me the most. Not what he did, but how close I came to believing I was the problem. Now things are quiet again. Same desk, same routine, but I'm different. Because now, I don't just listen to what people say, I watch how they say it. The tone, the timing, the frame. Because sometimes, the most dangerous manipulation is the one you never notice, until it's already changed everything. And if you've ever felt like your reality was being twisted, like something didn't add up, but you couldn't prove it, trust that feeling, because sometimes that quiet doubt is the only thing telling you the truth.